First for the Jayhawks. Jefferson City, Missouri. Many people in the crowd here today, and many more of you watching at home have not watched these two teams before. You may not recognize the names on the back, but you certainly recognize the names on the front of these jerseys. It is the Missouri Tigers versus the Kansas Jayhawks in a rivalry that needs no introduction. I'm Owen Backer, joined alongside me Ian Paparocki, Ray Dickerson III producing, Robert Kerbel as always on PA, and our own Michael Curtis doing sideline reporting. And Ian, I am so excited to be here.
Yeah, Owen, this is going to be an unbelievable night. These two teams, I feel like it'll be a common theme. We'll say it over and over again tonight, but they do not like each other. Missouri and Kansas, they've had some great battles over the last few years, and the rivalry continues here tonight. I can't wait.
And here we go. Kansas starting off with the puck to the break, and a shot, and that one goes right of goaltender Patrick Stiplikolski. He in net tonight for the Tigers over their usual starter, Joey Christoffel. Christoffel is backing up now, and as Aaron Hammer goes into the zone, 3-on-2, and there's a shot by Austin, goes beyond the right post of the goaltender. These two teams played last year at Cable Dahmer Arena in Kansas City, Missouri. The Tigers taking that one 4-1. Kansas not happy about that, and obviously you imagine they're going to want to wash that taste of that game out of their mouth.
Yeah, absolutely. Kansas took the last one, though, a month prior in Kansas. Scored 4-3, and that one got really heated late.
Here goes Ethan DeGroat. Ethan DeGroat cutting in, a shot and a right pad save. Ethan DeGroat, who put on a clinic against the Jayhawks a couple years ago in Kansas City, and he had a great chance right there on a right pad save.
I like that opening shift from the Tigers, Owen. Some veterans out there, and Austin Hemmer and Rudman, and they're playing with speed. Now they got that second line out.
There we go. And which team is going to take the physical edge first? That was a question we talked about before the game started. Both of these teams very much don't like each other, and they've got some big guys as the Jayhawks break in 3-on-2. Drop pass, shot, that one blockered away by Stiplikolski. It's number 21, Blake Houston, who's able to get it on. JT Baker from the Division III team in the lineup tonight. He's your usual number 21 for that squad. He's wearing 93 tonight. And number 22, there's Dylan Lukey as a cross-check to the back of Houston. Lukey, we've talked about, former OHL player, played for the Sarnia Sting. He is the newest player for this Mizzou hockey squad, and definitely one of the most exciting. Is there's Lukey, but the pass went just behind him. He couldn't quite corral it, so this one is chipped in behind the net of Olsen. Olsen, familiar with this squad. He's made the start earlier this year, and he made the start last season against the Tigers. That shot goes just high. At the blue line, there's Zagorski, tried to put it on. An attempt from Lukey, he fans on it. Still with the puck are the Tigers. There's Fred Bramstead, had his pocket picked, and that's covered by Olsen with 17:35 to go in the period.
Tigers spending some time early in this first period on the right side of your screen in their offensive zone. Another note we should make, though, no Andrew Knapp here tonight. Has been dealing with an injury. Saw him take one shift in the Nebraska series. Came out for a second period power play in game number 2, but he is sitting out here trying to get healthy for the MACHA playoffs that are next weekend. So no Andrew Knapp, big contributor for Missouri.
Absolutely. As big as this game is from a bragging rights standpoint, the Tigers have already clinched the #1 spot in the MACHA Gold playoffs. So they drop both games this weekend. That doesn't actually affect that. So better to rest up and make sure that your guys can stay healthy. That might be part of the reason why Stiplikolski is starting, as we've got ourselves a whistle, and I think they wanted a penalty called.
Yeah, well, and just going back to that conversation, it's funny, for a game that doesn't really mean anything standings-wise, this game sure has a lot of meaning anywhere else. I mean, you could argue this game means more to either team than any other game on their schedule, considering the rivalry.
Yeah, and fans put a lot of weight on that. There's a shot right off the face-off and covered by Olsen. Fans put a lot of weight on that, but the players aren't above that, right? The players, you know, as much as they might not want to admit, they want to win this one a little bbit more than your average game, regardless of playoff standings. And I mean, Kansas as well, they're not in the playoffs in their division. They're 11-7-0-1 on the season, and they definitely want to try to go out this season on a high note. And a shot to the chest of Stiplikolski is saved.
I like the idea there from Aiden Siddons, just trying to throw it on net. Kansas hasn't generated much offense here in the early stages, but a little bit of traffic in front. Maybe try to get somebody to skate ahead of Stiplikolski and block the vision, but Nice work by the Tigers netminders. They enter the draw here.
And this is Luke Lamb going to the faceoff against Aaron Hemmer. That one taken by Hemmer. Nate Austin gets it to Hemmer, 8-9. Working his way in, nifty move and a drop pass. That one thrown in behind the net of Olsen. That one blasted just wide. Nate Austin, the senior, plays that one back behind the Jayhawk net. And Luke Lamb collided with Danny Rudman. He's a big guy, Ian. He threw down Rudman. KU's got some pretty big guys on their roster.
Seems like each team still trying to maybe feel each other out a little bit when it comes to the physicality.
100%. And I mean, we've seen that a lot this season where, you know, the first 10 minutes of the first period, teams are just kind of feeling each other out, and then things start to heat up certainly towards the end of the first and definitely by the second. Here's Weber's shot just above the bar. Rebound won't go. Another shot, and he scores! Bodansky has given the Tigers a lead. It's 1-0.
Crazy hop that this shot from the point takes. It goes off the glass up high, but bounces right back in front of the crease to Hemmer, who knocks it down. They go hacking and whacking about Nancy gets the last laugh. What a good start for the Tigers. They've just been trying to throw pucks on net, and it pays off there.
Yeah, and it all starts from the shot from Weber. He just puts it on net, and it's not a particularly dangerous shot, but the rebound in front of him, like you said, it's just loose in the crease. Guys are batting away at it, and they chip one past Olsen early in this first period. And so what we were talking about, while these teams are still, you know, feeling each other out, the Tigers now have a 1-0 lead. They're definitely comfortable with the spot they're in right now. Yeah, Hemmer picking up an assist on that, much deserved. As the Jayhawks try to respond, we've seen a lot from these two teams as well. The net almost collapsed in on Stefopolsky and almost dropped on him like a cage. I don't think I've seen that. It came off. They didn't blow the whistle though. The net is still on its moorings. There's a low shot and that one's blocked. Good response from Kansas after that goal. Some sustained offensive zone time. Here's Luke Watson, the freshman, going in. He shoots that one off the iron and into the netting. What a well-placed shot for Watson, and he nearly beat Olsen high.
Yeah, Watson has been spectacular all season long for the Tigers. That time he enters the offensive zone and says, hey, why not? Let me have a crack at it. And almost able to bury Missouri's second goal here in the first 5 minutes.
And how big would that have been? There's Fred Bramstead taking the face-off against Huber, and that one's out of play once more, so we'll refresh and redo that face-off. Another thing to note, so the Tigers, last time they played was here 2 weeks ago against Nebraska. They were supposed to play last week against Marquette. If you're watching this, you probably know the weather that we got across the country last week, so that was canceled. So the Tigers maybe a little bit rusty, but Kansas just as rusty. Their last game was in December against Dort. So that first 10 minutes is definitely trying to shake some of that rust off, important for both squads, and the Tigers fortuitous to get a goal out of it. Here's Dylan Lukey, player from the Sarnia Sting that we told you about. Our own Ray Dickerson, who's producing, said he might do a story on him, so watch out for that. Back and forth, and now Uglo is back as the defenseman. It's a 2-on-1 if the Jayhawks can hurry. That pass to no one as they weren't able to get in position. Some 22-on-22 violence as Lukey was able to throw down that hit, and they'll go for a change as it's played behind the net by Bryce Uglo. Good job by Uglo to get it to Lukey. Dylan Lukey slicing and dicing through the neutral zone. He drops that one over to Bramstead. Bramstead centering pass, works his way in. Still on the stick of number 21, Blake Houston. Settled near the blue line. Shot, that one dings off the mask of the goaltender and saved. Nice heads-up play by Olsen. Even if it's a harmless shot, if it hits you in the mask, it can rattle you and become dangerous. So good job by him to corral that one.
Well, and Owen, it looks like the shot changes direction. I wasn't sure if it was Bramstead who got a stick on it towards the edge of the circle, but I think it definitely changed direction. That makes it an even more impressive save by Olsen to hold his ground.
Face-off taken by number 93, JT Baker, and they're batting away at it. And once more, we've got a whistle, and that's a new number, right? I'm trying to think last 3 years I've been here, I don't think we've had a 93 on either squad.
Yeah, it's not super common, 93.
No. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins?
I was just going to think of an NHL
yeah,
example,
Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, I got you, bro.
That was fast.
Yeah. I'm quick, man. There's a wraparound attempt, doesn't go. Good keep in by Zagorski, but it doesn't get kept in for long. A 3-on-1 for the Jayhawks. Here they come. Oh, and that pass just wasn't on target. A fortuitous break for the Tigers, and now here's Cole Heffington. He's tripped up. No penalty call, and now we're going to get a whistle, and the crowd here was incensed. The net was dislodged slightly, and that's Cole Heffington, number 15. You may not have seen him in a while. He's been out for quite a long time with an injury. He's got, as our own Henry Hamilton pointed out in warm-ups, he's got a bit of a, Ray just said Mika Zibanejad, another 93, that's good. He's got a big cowboy collar on, so he's definitely being more cautious playing with that injury, but he made a great play right there and almost made it 2-0 Tigers. Austin and Peterson. Puck stolen away. There's a shot. Left pad save by Stiplikolski. Ooh, that backhand centering pass nearly got onto the stick of the Jayhawk, and now here's Nate Austin going in with Hemmer. Hemmer pulls in, tried to toe drag that one, but it's off the knee of a Jayhawk defenseman. Now here's Siddons. Siddons definitely a player to watch if you're a Jayhawk fan. Aaron Hemmer once more going into the zone by himself, just getting that puck deep and allowing his teammates to change. Slapped down and sent over to Bryce Uglo. Uglo chips it up for Vanansky. He's the goal scorer for the Tigers. Vanansky working down low with Ethan DeGroat, the junior. There's Zitzman, a shot off a stick and into the netting. I believe that was off the stick of, that was big number 22, Zach Robertson. Talk about big guys. That is a 6'5", 220-pound defenseman right there, Ian. That is a big man.
Absolutely, and I just want to make another point really quick. I've really liked the way that Bryce Uglo has started this game. A couple of nice plays in the defensive zone, had a crisp pass to a moving Bodnansky to create that chance in the offensive zone.
100% agree, and there he was right there for the whistle, and it's the calm, right? It's not necessarily always the flashy plays, but just very calm under pressure, which is what you want from a defenseman.
Well, it's what you need in a game like this,
yeah.
Right? I mean, it's the hype around this rivalry, the amount of fans that are in the crowd tonight at Washington Park Ice Arena. I mean, this game was announced as a sellout before anybody even got to the arena tonight. I mean, it's a difficult spot to kind of control your nerves as a player, but when you have a guy like Uglo who's able to do that, it kind of spreads around to the rest of the team and helps everybody think a little bit more clearly.
Absolutely, and I mean, this is a Tiger team we've seen have good defensive cores before, but I can't think of a defensive core that's been this calm. Even that 2023 team that had guys like Drew Driscoll on it, I don't think it was this relaxed under pressure. A turnover. Here's Vanansky. Vanansky fighting off an attacker. Zitzman was waiting up the blue line, but that's going to be passed behind the net. Zitzman chases, but he's unable to keep it in after a good effort. And he's getting pressured hard. What a back check. Fans in Washington Park, I think, want a penalty call, but that was just excellent back checking there. And now Vanansky is leveled.
Yeah, nice hit there by Malcolm Johnson right in front of the benches.
It's going to be a race to the red line, and Houston puts the body down.
Here we go.
And now we've got a scrum. Here we go. No whistle. And the Tigers will walk right out with it. So after all that, they still have the puck. It's Zagorski. Zagorski, a shot. That goes off a body in front. 2-on-1. That puck couldn't quite get. Ooh, we've got ourselves a.
Net off again
whistle.
here.
Is it? I didn't think the net was that off.
Well, that's where the referee went.
He blew the whistle in the middle of a play, skated to it, moved it about 2 inches, and then said, all right, we're good. This net does not like to stay in place. If you've watched any of our games before, you know this. Again, they got to bring it back to the 80s. They put a big metal pole through it. It doesn't move, but if you hit that net, the net ain't the one moving. .11:18 left to go in this period. KU still trying to tie the game after Thomas Finansky scored early. Here's Blake Houston. Blake Houston doing a good job fighting off a defender, but he's pickpocketed by Vaughn. Drop back to Vaughn. Couldn't find anyone to pass to. Tried to throw that one in the slot, but couldn't quite get it. Now here it is again. Puck is still loose. And out of the zone. Good job by Stivakolski putting out the fire. It's not even about making the big saves. It's just about crease management, being in the right places at the right time, as that pass is intercepted by, once more, Vaughn. Rowan Vaughn, the freshman, with a couple of great plays. Carson Weber, now he has it, sends that one to Fred Bramstead. Bramstead skating into the zone, tries to get this one deep, and he is absolutely leveled by Malcolm Johnson. And KU's physicality is definitely making a statement here. I mean, the Tigers are getting bullied a little bit.
Malcolm Johnson himself setting the tone.
Oh, but here's a potential break. 3-on-1 if they hurry. Pass, wide open. Save made by Olsen. How did that puck stay out?
One too many passes.
One too many. And now KU's going to get a line change. The Tigers clearly frustrated. I mean, he was down and out. I mean, you could have put that one in as long as it was off ice level. That would have beaten Olsen, but they try to pass it back and it just doesn't go. Now here's Cole Heffington, who had the chance earlier before he was tripped up. He's the only Missouri player here without the name on the back of his jersey, so if you see that, just know it's Cole Heffington. Puck sent out of the zone. All the way down, and they're going to call that icing. Is good job by Uglo to get there and make sure Kansas wasn't able to beat it out.
Yeah, on that last shift, too, Matthew Lang got a little shaken up. Stivakolski made a point-blank save on it. It was earlier in the shift, and Lang went on to finish the shift, but something to monitor as we go on. He was hunched over for a second in behind the net, but shows off the toughness to stay in the play.
Yeah, there's a lot more of this game to go, so definitely monitor that situation. Now we're ready for the face-off. Here's Aaron Hemmer. He's going to win that one, but KU is going to immediately intercept and come away with it, but now turned over. Zagorski, a slap shot. That one ringed off the iron. I think that beat Olsen, or maybe ramped off his pad and hit the iron on the way out of play.
Takes a wacky hop all the way up near the ceiling.
Yeah, that was strange.
I like the Tigers' shoot-first mentality here in this game so far, Owen. They've just been throwing pucks on net, and it's been a recipe for success.
Yeah, the Luke Watson shot earlier that rang off the arm, he just entered the zone and let it rip. Ironically, the only time they haven't shot first was on that last attempt where they probably overpassed it a little. There's a shot, he scores! 2-0 Tigers! A clean shot right off the face-off, beats Olsen, and it's Danny Rudman.
Well, Danny Rudman, Owen, is no stranger to the Missouri-Kansas rivalry, and he makes his presence known here in the first period. I was just talking about the fact that Missouri is trying to throw pucks on net, trying to make it hard on Olsen. Rudman gets it off the draw. Perfect shot placed towards the corner of net, and the Tigers have doubled the lead.
Here's Chin, and they're not going to settle at just 2-0. They want more. I mean, I look for the Tigers here to try to keep the pressure on them. Hemmer picking up an assist on that goal. He definitely deserves it. He's been, by my mind, the Tigers' best forward so far in this game. He's been everywhere. Good for him to get an assist. Austin as well. Those three are just so hard-working. They've all been here a long time. That puck flipped high into the Tiger zone and a bit of a miscommunication. Watson thought that Chin was going to get it, and Chin thought Watson was going to get it, but Luke Watson does come away with it before he's pickpocketed. Now here's a chance for KU. A pass on, and that couldn't get through the defense. Here's Siddons. He's going to throw that one down. Oh, a pass right to the slot. A chance in front, but the Tigers defense swarming, clearing the crease for their goaltender, Stipikulski, not even allowing a shot on. Great job by the Tiger defense, making the job for their goaltender easy. We've got an icing.
Nick Wollington with a great offensive zone shift for the Jayhawks. They tried to get that puck out in front, but Brendan Shin was able to close the lane for Missouri. Tigers, a couple of tired bodies on the ice. You see Thomas Vodnansky hunched over a little bit. Can't tell if he's just out of breath or if he's dealing with anything, but either way, they got to stay on as the Jayhawks get the offensive zone faceoff.
Yeah, these guys are all out here for an extended shift, so they're going to be looking to get this puck into the O-zone and change as soon as they can. Here's Vodnansky moving with speed, and immediately his teammates are going to go for a change. Good job getting it in deep. Watson and Vodnansky, the only ones unable to change. They go to the bench now. Here's Dylan Lukey. Lukey couldn't get it through the Jayhawk defense, but Peterson's there able to bail him out. If he was Swedish, he would be Pettersson, but he's Peterson. It's okay. Here's Dylan Lukey. Lukey muscling around the defense, passes that one to the slot. A great pass, but no one was home. If somebody had been there, that would have been a grade A chance. And that puck's just thrown down somewhat half-heartedly by Lamb, and now the Jayhawks will get a change. And for how physical Kansas has been, I mean, you feel like that's normally the more energized team, but after that last goal, I mean, they just seem pretty lifeless right now. Here's a chance in front, shot, save made. And the Tigers are buzzing, they'll throw that one out. Houston a shot, that doesn't go. Puck couldn't find its way back to Houston. Good job splitting the defense. That was Vaughn. Bramstead throws that to JT Baker. He's up from D3. JT Baker a shot. There it was a 2-on-1. He chose to shot, and Olsen sees it all the way.
Hey, I don't hate it. You got the look. Might as well just let it rip. You got a guy in the passing lane in the 2-on-1, and Olsen just makes a nice save. It's been hanging in there, keeping this game as close as it is. The Tigers have had the majority of the chances. They've continued to pepper in the offensive zone.
Yeah, absolutely. You're up 2-0. Why not just shoot everything you got? Don't give Kansas any breathing room to, I say come back. I mean, it's quite a lot of game left, but in this context, don't give them any breathing room to come back, as JT Baker tries to get it to Heffington, and it's out of the zone. Turn around and played by Zach Roberts, the captain, or the alternate captain, rather. Behind the net is Stipikulski, who has not been overly tested this game at all. As the puck got lost in Setnar's skates, but here he goes. Now here he passes on, and he scores! What a feed and what a goal! And it's 3-0 Tigers. How about that?
Oh, and his composure. We touched on it earlier here in this first period. Prest has that puck tied up in his skates, and he's able to control it, lay it flat on the ice, and put a perfect pass across for that goal. Beautifully done, and the Tigers with a 3-0 lead now.
And you could tell, because that goal was scored, and you know, goal scorers, you know, yay, you get to do the celebration, but everybody was looking at number 18, Setnar, for that assist.
Yeah, my mistake there, Setnar.
Yeah.
We had two number 18s.
Yeah, the usual number 18, Brendan Press, is not in this game, as that puck is saved by sorry. I just got caught off guard. There's a man wearing an all-black T-shirt that just says "Kansas sucks" in plain bold letters. That threw me off there. Love that energy. But
and I'm sure that when these two teams go to Kansas tomorrow, there'll be some shirts that say the other thing, the other school.
Yes. And yeah, how about that goal from Heffington, though, right? I mean, not to say that all of the work was done by Setnar. Coming back from injury, his first goal in several months, and you love to see that from him. He was definitely pumped to score that, but he did look right at Setnar after he scored, pointed and said, "That was you." Max Zagorski, center ice. Kansas is really, I mean, that pass right there couldn't be corralled, but Kansas has given away their own blue line quite frequently. They're really not standing tall, which is a strategy. I mean, if you want to kind of stand back and let the opposing team come to you and suffocate them in your own zone, but they're not really doing that either. They're kind of just letting Missouri do what they want in the defensive zone, in Missouri's offensive zone. Max Zagorski sends that one down, and now here's a potential break for Kansas as they're entering the zone with speed. 2-on-2. Here's Vaughn. Good job working around Zagorski. He almost said Dvorsky. There's a shot. That one can't get on net. Rebound and a big save. We've got a whistle.
Net off again.
It's the net. It's the net.
So Stipolkolski goes right to left, makes a beautiful save, point blank, but I think he punched the post a little bit out of place there as he was making that save. So that's what drew the whistle. But
yeah, I mean, it was a hard, quick left leg, you know, kicked out, and it hit the post, so it knocked it free. I'd be almost a little frustrated if I was Kansas. I mean, I think Missouri had the puck when they blew the whistle, but that's a couple of chances in times where they've had ozone pressure where, oh, the net went off its moorings, sorry.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a name correction for the first assist of that third Missouri goal. Number 18 for Missouri is Kyle Setnar.
So they just announced it in Arena Ian. They made the same mistake you did. They called that out as a pressed assist. It is Setnar.
That makes me feel better, Owen.
Yes. Another guy who's up from Division III. We heard that it is likely they're going at it. There's the puck at the ceiling out of play. We heard it likely that Setnar and Baker are probably going to stay with the club through the rest of the season and the playoffs. They're up from D3. Those guys, they were on the D3 roster, but no strangers to being up here. JT Baker was part of that legendary 2023 freshman class that had guys like Rudman, that had guys like Andrew Knapp, like Ethan DeGroat. And so we're going to have a power play for the first time in this game. It's going to be a penalty on number 91 for the Tigers, Luke Watson, I believe. Yeah, he's in the box. And so you're down 3-0, but you got 4 minutes left in this period. You got a power play. This could be big for Kansas to try to snatch back some of this momentum. But a good clear off the start, and here's Heffington racing down, emptying the tank to try to beat Vaughn there. Vaughn and Heffington both go down. What tenacious penalty killing from Cole Heffington. He's still going at it. 20 seconds have tripped off the clock. The other penalty killers are just sitting there bored. This is a generational PK from Heffington. That was 30 seconds.
That's a clinic. That
was a clinic of penalty killing. And he's going to crawl to the bench. You better get a pat on the back from coach as he's able to get that one to the neutral zone.
A lot of noise in that Missouri bench. They appreciate what they just saw from Heffington. What an impact he has. Here he goes again.
Look at him go. You can tell he is gassed, Ian, but he's still putting in all that effort. And the fans here, they know ball. They're cheering him on. They understand how big that is for him to do that on the penalty kill. And he is practically crawling to the bench as the Jayhawks enter the zone. Here's Vaughn, takes a shot. Now he does take one, deflected in front and well high. Instantly cleared out by Weber. And so the second power play unit for Kansas. We've gotten word that a player on the Missouri hockey team said that Cole Heffington was an absolute maniac on the penalty kill in practice this week, and that is clearly showing off because, I mean, you want to curry favor with the coach. You don't need to score a hat trick. You need to do stuff like that. That is how you get on a coach's good side as that puck is sent down. There's 20 seconds left in this Harpo's penalty kill. Here's Weber working with Bramstead. Works around the defender, shooting, he scores! Short-handed Carson Weber! What a move and what a goal! Oh my!
Oh, and I was going to make a comment at the beginning about how Missouri's penalty kill has struggled this year. That was the best penalty kill that I've seen from this team all season long, and maybe in the last couple of seasons. I mean, it starts with Heffington's effort, and then the razzle-dazzle to score that goal with 6 seconds left on the Kansas power play and take a 4-0 lead. That is just deflating for the Jayhawks.
Yeah, absolutely, and here he goes again. That's Blake Houston. Houston got the goal, not Weber. 21 and 27 there. So 4-0 now, and we were talking about, Kansas had a chance to maybe snatch back some of that momentum. Well, now, I mean, you're cooked, right? Like, you've essentially, ooh, there's a shot and a good chance. You've now squandered that opportunity and given one up. And they're going to give the one to Houston unassisted, earned as that puck goes off the official. And now here's Lukey going in. It's a 4-on-1. A 4-on-1 shot, and he couldn't get on it. I'm not sure how that happens. You give him a 4-on-1 as there's another chance for Houston to just score.
I think Kansas thought the puck might have gone out of play.
Yeah, that was my thought because they kind of stopped skating for a little bit.
Can't make that assumption.
No. Play to the whistle. As we now reach 1 minute to play in this period, the score is 4-0 for Missouri. 3 5-on-5 goals and a shorty unassisted from Houston. Coming out of his net to play it is Stipikolski. That's probably the most action he's had in this period.
He's been good when called upon, though.
Yes, he has. I mean, not much you can complain about. The goalie doesn't just make saves, too. Not even just playing the puck, but it's, here's a 2-on-1, maybe. And another solid defensive effort from Missouri, not even letting the puck get on net. That puck trickles through the legs of the Jayhawk defenseman, and with 20 seconds and a fresh set of bodies out from Missouri, I find it unlikely they're going to be able to get one before this period ends. Chasing down the puck is Zagorski, iced. 9.5, so not to get too greedy. A 4-goal first period is great, but you have some chance maybe to get some here if you win a face-off cleanly. Absolutely, plenty of time here on the clock to win a draw and try to throw the puck on net, maybe get a little bit of traffic in front of Olsen. Face-off tie-up, here it is. DeGroat shot, scores! Ethan DeGroat right off the face-off, and it's 5-0.
Well, there it is, like clockwork. You win the draw. You get a good look with Ethan DeGroat, who has a phenomenal shot. We've seen it for several seasons now. And he beats Olsen with some traffic in front of the net. Just 4 seconds after the draw, and the Tigers are going to complete an unbelievable first period. 5-0 Missouri. That goal, just taking it back. I mean, you telegraphed it perfectly, Ian. You said exactly what's going to happen. That faceoff went to DeGroat, and he almost looked around like, really, am I this open? And he let it fly, and it just beat Olsen. You can't really put all that on the goaltender. I mean, that was not a good period for Kansas, but I wonder if we see a goaltending change at the start of the second period with it in mind that these two teams have to play in Kansas tomorrow. Yeah, that's a good point. You definitely could see a goaltending change. And look, I don't think you can blame it on Olsen at all. I think sometimes just when the score reads 5-0, you got to shake something up. Sometimes it's a message to wake the rest of the team up, saying, we're going to pull the goalie, we're going to move something around, and it's really more to get that bench energized because, I don't think Olsen, played bad by any means. I thought he had a strong period, and he was let down by his defenseman. But we could definitely see that. We'll look for what the decision is come second period. But, I mean, if you're Missouri, you can't ask for a better start to that game. And it was the mindset straight from that first shift of just the speed, the tenacity in the neutral zone, and getting pucks on net that worked the entire period. Yeah, I agree with everything you said. I mean,
if you were to switch goaltenders right now, if the team swapped, what's the score? Still probably 5-0, maybe 4-1. I mean, there's really not much different. And I mean, if you're Kansas, I'm more concerned about the lack of fight back, right? Because you just got to win the period, right? You don't go into the second with the mindset, all right, we got to score 5 goals. You just got to win the period. And after they went down 2-0, I mean, they had some fight. There was some physicality. There were some chances. And then it just all deflated. It turned to dust before our eyes. And now I'm not sure what the conversation's like in that Kansas locker room because, I mean, they got to do something. I'm trying to think of something I would change at all for Missouri that period. I can't think of anything. Like, even one thing. I guess you could say, don't take a penalty, but they scored a shorthanded goal. So does it really matter? I mean,
best penalty kill of the season. Yeah,
best penalty kill of the season by far. They should give Cole Effington an honorary assist on that unassisted Houston goal. I mean, that man, that was the best PK I've seen ever by a single person.
Before we head to break, I will say this, just to reiterate the fact that Kansas has gone so long without playing a game. You expect Russ in the first period, and you know, that was not their best period by any means. I mean, they have a lot more to show. So now's an opportunity for the Jayhawks to regroup in the locker room, come out strong in the second. I think they have a lot more to offer. And you know, it's 5-0, yes, but I think they are absolutely capable of chipping into this lead. So if you're Missouri, you got to keep the foot on the gas because this is a good hockey team you're playing that I think is just trying to find their rhythm and get back into a groove together.
Yeah, definitely. Well, that will do it for our first period of action here at Washington Park Ice Arena. Don't go anywhere. We will be back for the second period in about 10 to 12 minutes. And do not think for a second that this game is over. We've got 2 more periods of action, and a lot can happen as we've seen. There are many games here at Washington Park Ice Arena. There can be a lot of fireworks, so don't go anywhere. We'll be back soon. Welcome back to the second period of action here at Washington Park Ice Arena. If you missed the first period, you missed a lot. At a stoppage, we'll give you a recap there. There was a shot and a save made by Stiplikolski. Okay, Ian, and they're immediately going at it. Ian, do you want to read off the goal scorers?
Well, yeah, here, give me a second here. See what comes out of this little brawl here in the corner. But yeah, I mean, 5 goals in the first period. Started with Vodnansky. Danny Rudman added one. Cole Heffington made it 3-0. Blake Houston shorthanded after a great penalty kill made it 4 for Missouri. And then Ethan DeGroat with just 5 seconds left. They want to draw in the offensive zone. He buries one past Olsen to make it 5-0.
And speaking of Olsen, that is not him in the net. That is number 1, Kai Vetter, the sophomore from Edwardsville, Illinois. So Olsen, after giving up 5 in the first, is out. Vetter is in. We thought we might see a goaltending change. There's a big hit, but Hammer pops right back up like nothing happened. Second period, of course, the teams have switched sides. There's a shot from Rudman off a stick, doesn't go. He gets his own rebound, though, before KU is able to clear it out. And there's a nice move by Vaughn, but a couple guys just get taken down, and we've got a whistle. Only 1 power play in the first period. That was for the Jayhawks. They gave up a shorthanded goal with 6 seconds left on that one. And
Vaughn's going to go here.
Yeah, Vaughn's going. That was kind of weird. He played the body when he had the puck. It kind of seemed unnecessary. He interrupted his own chance there, and Vaughn's going. So a Tiger power play that was 1 for 14 2 weekends ago against Nebraska will get a chance to try and make a difference here and shake off some of that rust. I mean, it is hard to put into words just how poor the Tigers' power play was 2 weekends ago against the Cornhuskers, but it's a new series, new team, and they've already got 5, so let's see. Here's Dylan Lukey. Lukey walks in shooting, and that's high. Of course, a new goaltender in the net for Kansas. What a better way for the Tigers to start off this period than by testing him. Here's a chance for DeGroat. He scored one with 5.5 left in the first. Sends this one to Zitzman. Zitzman drops it back for Lukey. Lukey able to keep that in. It's a bit of a miscommunication. Hemmer gets it to Bramstead. Bramstead back to Hemmer. Now at the blue line, it's DeGroat. DeGroat circling. Here's Lukey. Lukey back to DeGroat. Power play brought to you by Gumby's Pizzas. There's a shot. That one couldn't find its way through traffic. 1:14 left on this power play. Here's Zitzman. Zitzman over to the right dot to Lukey. Back to Zitzman, looking for a lane. Sends this one over to DeGroat. DeGroat a shot. That one's collected in front by Kai Vetter. A good power play for that first unit. They just weren't able to really, a lot of crisp passing, but they weren't able to get too many shots on net. So now that second unit will get on with 1:02 left on this power play.
Yeah, and a big part of the struggles against Nebraska for the power play was the absence of Andrew Knapp. It's been a man advantage that's been the strength of this team, but they've got to try to get it going again without their leading scorer.
Yeah, Andrew Knapp's still absent. We talked to him before the game, and he told me that it's that same lower body injury that's been nagging him since that tournament in Maryville, and he's just trying to get ready for the playoffs. There's a shot from Rudman and a save made by Vetter at the right shoulder. Good job by Vetter getting a piece of the body on it.
Vetter's been rock solid so far in the second period. That's a great look for Rudman, right at the right circle. Nobody in front of him, and Vetter able to get a blocker on it. 56 seconds to go on the power play here, and that doesn't seem right, Owen, because that would mean that only 6 seconds came off right there. Referees are talking.
Yeah, wait, that math ain't mathin'. We've seen some in the Nebraska series 2 weekends ago. There was some clock shenanigans, specifically in that Friday game. It's certainly not always the fault of the scorekeepers. A lot of the time the clocks just don't cooperate. They took a few seconds off. They're still taking it down.
I looked back up and I thought, oh, and you just said 1:02, and
yeah.
And they're going to take this down 17:52 with 40 seconds to go on the power play.
So about 16 extra seconds shaved off there. So 40 seconds still remaining on this Gumby's Pizza power play. It's the second unit, Luke Watson out there. Luke Watson down low to Houston. He scored the 4th goal for Missouri. It's Uglo, wearing number 19 at the blue line, puts this one over to Luke Watson, the freshman from Kirkwood, Missouri. Uglo drops it off to Vanansky. He scored the 1st goal for the Tigers. Now here he is to Houston. Back to Vanansky. Behind the net. Good job by Kansas. They're giving him the perimeter, but they're not allowing anything near the net. Uglo in the circle as time is expiring. We're back to 5-on-5. And Vaughn was hoping for his team to get the puck. He was skating for a home run pass, trying to get a breakaway, but Kansas was unable to come up with it. Watson to Houston. Houston behind the net of Vetter. Still with the puck are the Tigers. They've had the puck for about 3 minutes now, through multiple stoppages. Watson, Vanansky, short side shot in high into the netting. And a decent penalty kill from Kansas. I mean, it's easy to look at all of the O-zone time. They didn't clear the puck once and say that was a poor penalty kill, but they really didn't give Missouri that many good looks.
Yeah, it kind of felt like a game of keep away right there for the Tigers. I mean, the passing was crisp. They were able to hold on to possession, but, you know, not really peppering the goaltender like they did in the first period.
Here's Weber. That puck shot high and out of play.
I will say, Owen, I think Kansas has looked a little bit better in the second period. Still a lot of the play in their own defensive zone, but they're skating a little bit faster, came out with some more speed compared to where they were in the first.
16:22 left to go in this period, and yeah, Kansas has been a lot better. Is it too little, too late? We'll just find out. We talked at the end of the first that you just got to try to win the period if you're the Jayhawks. There's Heffington. He had his pocket picked, and there's a break for Kansas. Peterson's getting tied up, and we've got a whistle, and that might have been a hook.
I didn't see an arm go up.
I didn't see an arm go up.
Kansas is furious right now.
I feel like it might have been a hook. I mean, there's only so much you can do. There's a breakaway for, I believe it was Vaughn, and Peterson was playing some good defense, but I mean, when you're getting chicken winged a little bit, it's hard to not make that call.
No stick here.
No stick. He's playing soccer out there. Lukey's going to get that puck in deep, but he's still going. And end-to-end on just his feet. I don't know if I've seen that before. Here's Houston, a shot. That one off a stick. Ramstead. They just announced Kai Vetter as being the Kansas goaltender here in the arena. That's Huber. Missouri struggling to break out of their own zone here.
Zagorski saw Houston kind of lurking right in front of the Tiger bench, but whiffed on a couple pass attempts. Now he's got the puck.
Looking for that home run ball. Puck high, Owen Walsh able to play it. Where he had his pocket picked, and a couple guys go down. No call, seemed pretty incidental. Oh, but a turnover in front. Here's a chance. Stipikolski was out of position. If he had gotten that shot on, it may have been a goal for the Jayhawks. Pass intercepted by Bramstead. Bramstead to Houston. Houston now throws one Ethan DeGroat, the most recent Tiger goal scorer. A nifty move to create some separation. Puts this one behind the net of Vetter. Now Houston is playing a chance in front, shooting, and a save made! A great chance for DeGroat. I don't think Vetter even saw the puck when he made the save. A turnover now, and a foot race once more, shaking off a stick check is Vanansky. Finally, he loses the puck, and the Tigers still with it. It's Zitzman entering the zone. Zitzman back to Vanansky. Vanansky over, shooting, and that one doesn't go. He tried to backdoor pass it. A 5-alarm fire for the Jayhawks. Finally, they're able to get it out, break into the O zone. It's a foot race. Back and forth, back and forth. Finally, we've got an icing call.
How great has Vetter been in this second period? He makes a big-time stop there, point blank, and then he had to fix the goalpost, and that came off again, and he was able to put it in place.
We're going to go to our own Michael Totis right now for a sideline report. Michael, what do you have for us?
Talking to Coach Locke Thompson from his press box. We're serving his 1-game suspension. So he's not on the bench tonight for the Tigers, but he had nothing but good things to say about their first period performance. Hard not to when the team's up 5-0. Pointed out in a rivalry game against Kansas. Kind of got to throw records and talent out the window because both teams are going to come out firing. He noted Kansas coming out more physical, but that ended up not deterring the Tigers too much. Able to score the first goal, and the onslaught continued. I also asked him about Cole Heffington, and when I did, he had a big smile on his face with the penalty kill he had in the first period. Pointed out how much he's been through, and even noted yesterday during practice, they practiced a power play for about 15 minutes, and even noted the Tigers' own power play struggled when Heffington was on the penalty kill. So not much negative from Coach Thompson. Hard to have any negatives when the team's up 5-0. Back to you guys.
Thank you very much, Michael. And yeah, I mean, if you're a head coach, hard not to be happy about that last period. Of course, Locke Thompson is in the little press box room area, banished from the main rink because he was suspended at the end of that second game against Nebraska. Kansas with a couple decent chances while Michael was talking there, but is still not able to beat Stipkulski, who hasn't been overly tested, and that can be difficult for a goaltender. I mean, we've seen that where maybe a goalie only see a couple shots in a period, and when they finally do, they get scored on because they're just bored. They're sitting there the whole time.
Yeah, absolutely, and looks like we have a penalty here. Hemmer's going to go off for high sticking, and so this will be a Kansas power play.
One power play for Kansas this game. They did not score. They allowed the shorty with 6 seconds left, and of course I'm watching Heffington, number 15 on this PK. He was an all-star last time. This power play this penalty kill for the Tigers rather, brought to you by Harpo's. Looking a lot better now. Here's Siddons. Here's a chance for Vaughn, a shot and a chest save made by Stipkulski. Good job by him getting over, and now there's some extracurricular activities going on after the whistle.
You can kind of tell the fans were just waiting for this here in this arena. And
yeah, you know, we're here, we love hockey. You know, I'll watch two teams play great hockey all night, but some people here, they want some violence. They want some fisticuffs. They want the rivalry to boil over.
Well, it's what you expect when you got Tigers and Jayhawks. I mean, you saw the absolute disaster at the end of the March game last year when Kansas defeated Missouri 4-3 in Kansas, and I mean, it was fights left and right towards the end of that game, and so, you know, you expect it to continue. A lot of the same guys on each side. You remember that second game that they played in Kansas City? It was a big hit there. A lot of main players were missing on each side because half the teams were suspended.
Yeah, and that is the great thing about hockey, though. I mean, Mizzou KU basketball, Mizzou KU football, there's been some great matchups, but they don't get to fight after every play. They don't get to get in each other's business like that, so love that. And I was a little concerned for, I think it was Von Ansky who took that hit, but it was shrugged off. It shows the grit and toughness on each of these squads as Siddons is able to keep that in and get it over to Vaughn. Vaughn with a shot and a save made. He had a good amount of real estate there to do something, and he fires it on and just couldn't quite get enough on that shot. And an easy save from Stipkulski.
I've been impressed with the rebound control by Stipkulski tonight. I mean, there's been a couple of shots that have come in from some distance, and he's been able to hang on to just about everything and avoid giving the Jayhawks any second chance opportunities right out in front of the crease.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, especially because Kansas doesn't have any, world-class shooters. They don't have quite the star power that Missouri does, so they're going to have to rely on those gritty plays, those rebound shots. As here's a chance, and right off the glove of Stipkulski. And yes, a good rebound control by him in this game. And now here's a chance, short-handed. misses it, but Heffington. And now he's back checking with just as much energy as he was forechecking. That puck's thrown on, and Kansas with 25 seconds still has enough time to set up if they hurry. This puck sent out. Does not go. They were trying to create a nice passing play there, but they weren't able to, and the puck is ejected out of the zone. It's Huber. 3 seconds now, and Watson's, or Hemmer rather, is back. And he got on the bench, and Lukey immediately took his place. That was Sean Deaver, the official, blowing his whistle.
Saw Heffington leave the ice there at the end of that penalty kill. I was starting to wonder if fatigue is even a thing that exists for him. He's making plays when he's been out on the ice for over a minute, and he's hustling up and down. You know, he gets into the offensive zone, and then he goes back checking again with the same intensity. I mean, he's been putting on an absolute show for us tonight.
Forecheck, back check, paycheck, man. Is that what they say?
I like it.
I forget which NHL player said that. I'll come back to you in the third period with the answer to that question. Bramstead doing just that. A turnover. Zitzman's wide open, drops it for Lukey. A shot down low, save. A blast down low once more. That puck, it's not in.
Arm is up here, the referee.
That was odd. Vetter made 2 saves where he essentially gave himself up, right? You go down to make the first save, but any rebound opportunity would have cleanly beat him.
There was a Tiger in the net there, too. I think that's the last place at all at Jefferson City you'd want to be tonight, than inside the Tiger net.
So there's a Jayhawk in the box. I can't see who. Siddons just went over and talked to him. But it's going to be, that's number 5. It's going to be Malcolm Johnson, who's been certainly a presence for the Jayhawks tonight, the senior from Edna, Minnesota. And so it's going to be a Gumby's power play for Missouri. Lukey puts that one into the crease. Save made. DeGroat one-timed, and that one doesn't go, and puck is sent well high. Cross-checking is the minor that just got announced.
Nice effort there by Bramstead on the play. He goes down in the crease and is able to get onto his feet in the flash of an eye. The puck finds him, and the one-time attempt goes off of a Kansas stick and off into the netting.
Yeah.
But good work by Bramstead. He was quick to get back to his skates and create a chance, because I mean, he was laying face down in the crease the moment earlier.
Notably different strategy on this power play than the last one. They are shooting everything instead of just skating around, and there's a down-low chance! And Hemmer couldn't quite get it, but a good job getting into the slot, and a couple pushes and shoves after the whistle as Vetter is talking to the official. He disagrees. He thinks Hemmer was all up in his business. Hemmer got thrown out of the slot by a Jayhawk.
Bramstead having some words now with Vetter.
Yeah, Vetter coming way out of his crease to give Bramstead a piece of his mind. No penalties called on that little exchange, so it's still a Gumby's power play for the Tigers. 1:38 left to go. 10:29 in the period. DeGroat takes the face-off, wins that one cleanly, and it's back to the Tiger blue line. Here is Lukey, falls. Now it's Zitzman. Zitzman puts that one on. That one's blocked. Lukey skating, pulls up. And how honed in is the Jayhawk defense on Lukey? They know he's the biggest threat on the ice right now. Zitzman unable to keep it in, sent out by the captain, Siddons, the junior, and he's not able to win that race with Lukey down, but now he's gonna take the puck away. And great penalty killing effort right there by Siddons. Ate up about 20 seconds of this Tigers power play. On the other end of the ice, Bramstead goes for a change. Slowly trickling out for the Tigers. It's Danny Rudman who scored, I believe, the second goal of the game. DeGroat walks in. That puck stripped away from him and cleared out, but off a body. Now it finally does exit the zone. Pass on, and with 30 seconds left in this penalty kill, the Jayhawks are buzzing. Turning shot, that one off the post. Vonansky's finally able to come away with it. This Jayhawks penalty kill looking very similar to the Tiger penalty kill from last period.
Yeah, great work by Bowerly here.
There's a potential 2-on-1, wide open, and he scores! It's Houston for his second. He could have taken that puck out to dinner and then driven it into the net. Wide open. He had all the time in the world. It's a power play marker, wow.
Good the penalty kill was and how much time they were taking up on Stipolsky's side of the ice, but then all of a sudden the Tigers just walk right into the zone and make it look very, very easy for goal number 6.
The most nonchalant goal I've ever seen. I mean, Houston, his posture pretty much didn't even change. The pass went right on, and he just threw it in. So now it's 6-0, that power play marker for Missouri. So now we're on hat-trick watch. He has a hat-trick this season. Vonansky picking up his second point. And here's Heffington, he's taken down. And that arm's in the air, delayed penalty call. So there's Stipolsky to the bench, it's 6-on-5. Smartly skated out of the zone. Does Heffington, and they'll just let it go back forward touch. I don't think they will. I would almost call that a penalty shot.
Yeah, I mean, you could definitely make the argument for it. But either way, Tigers going to head to the man advantage here, and they've just controlled the tempo here on these offensive rushes. Right back to the power play. Just saw the tally by Houston.
And the Tigers getting a chance to put some makeup on those power play numbers after an egregious weekend a couple weeks ago against the Cornhuskers, and they look like a completely different team out there.
I will say Houston with a power play goal and a shorthanded goal.
Oh boy, are you thinking what I'm thinking?
Could we see the, well, first of all, we can see a hat trick with an even strength power play and shorthanded, or we can see a hat trick with no even strength goals. I'm not sure which is more rare.
Got to do the Yager or the Lemieux. You got to score 5 goals in 5 ways. You got to get an empty netter. He's got to get a penalty shot and an even strength.
It's on his way.
There's Rudman shooting. Absolute shooting gallery here as another one is put on in the save made, and Vetter is just doing all he can. Stipolsky comes out of the net to play it, but he says, no, you can take that one, Bryce, and Uglo will grab that one, let his team change. They're getting ready to fire back. Blake Houston. Good job creating space. Blue line. Uglo. Now down to Vonansky, shooting. That one doesn't go. Into the netting, and we've got a whistle. 45 seconds left on this Gumby's power play, and the Jayhawk PK unit will change as well as the Tigers power play.
Yeah, I was going to say we get an opportunity to look at the second unit for the Tigers. Final 45 seconds of the man advantage, trying to add another. Good start getting back on track in the power play. Talked about the rough weekend against Nebraska. Certainly would have to be a big confidence boost heading into the MACHA tournament if they can get the man advantage resolved.
Yeah, and that is something we're talking about. I mean, this game maybe is quote-unquote meaningless on the standings, but not just for the rivalry's sake. This Vaughn is doing an excellent job killing this penalty here and keeping Stipolsky on his toes, but I mean, there's still kinks that the Tigers need to work out, and they need to get ready for the playoffs. And so fixing the power play could absolutely be, I would almost argue, the main objective of Missouri this week, as Vaughn will go chasing with, I believe that's Zitzman. Now here's a chance, but again, great job by the Tiger defense clearing the front of the net as a couple guys go down behind the play. Now puck's dropped off. Down low, we're back to 5-on-5. Bramstead with a heads-up play to avoid the contact. Now Zitzman walks in. Here's a chance, shooting, and a save made. Here's Lukey. Lukey tried to pass that one back door, but it did not go. Nice hit in the corner, and that's blown dead. And I like that, you know, Zach Roberts is 6'5", 220, and so it took 2 Tigers to hit him. They just teamed up and used the power of friendship to lay that check down.
I think Aaron Hemmer has just been handed a misconduct here. He had gotten into it with Hearn in front of the crease and pointed at the scoreboard.
Ooh, can't do that. And I imagine both of these teams, after the incident last year that you were talking about, were warned ahead of time, like, hey, we're not going to let things get too out of hand here. Hemmer is in the box, not going to the locker room.
Imagine a 10-minute misconduct here. Hemmer's been kind of at the center of everything.
I know, he's been he's been my best forward for the Tigers. I think he's just been doing all the right things. Been such a glue guy. Every play that's been made, he's just been somewhere. The Jayhawks' chances of getting one past Stipikulski certainly increase if Hemmer's in the box for the next 10 minutes. So not a power play for the Jayhawks, but Hemmer will be unable to be on the ice for the next 10 as got a whistle. There's only 5:43 left in this period, so it'll be the rest of the second and then 5 minutes of the third.
High sticking call here.
Yeah. Well, so now things are getting a little interesting.
So the Tigers right back to the man advantage. And if you're Kansas trying to come back in this game, that's not the recipe to take penalties. Playing shorthanded when behind by this much. The Tigers with another chance here as Houston seeking that hat trick, out to take the draw.
Yeah, it's Ignatchev in the box for the Jayhawks, and it's that second unit out to start. Although both units are so good, there's really not a clear difference. As Watson going in with great speed. Net's knocked off its moorings, but they haven't blown the whistle. He'll just readjust it mid-play. I can tell you, official Sean Deaver just avoided contact probably 3 times on that last sequence. What a champ. In the heat of battle, he has avoided going down.
Yeah, really impressed by the referee tonight. Just the way they've kept this under control after, you just said it a moment ago, what happened last year.
And refs aren't giving their flowers enough, because if everything it's one of those jobs, if everything goes well, no one talks about you. But it's been great. As here's Siddons, just gets that puck to Stipikulski, and he's going to bat that one away. Siddons been great on the PK. Here's Houston looking for the hat trick, but he tries to pass that one on, and it can't find its home. Now Watson with the puck. He's all alone, shooting, and that one doesn't go.
Maybe a little bit too cute there by
Yeah.
Houston. Just got to shoot the puck, but when you're up 6-0, sometimes that's just what happens.
Yeah, you can try
to
stuff.
make that extra pass. Over Houston, selfless with the opportunity for the hat trick, trying to pass it up and get his teammate on the board.
Now it's Lukey trying to create some space. 25 seconds left on this Gumby's power play. Zitzman turning. DeGroat wanting to find a mate. Lukey. There's a couple guys down in the corner. They're wrestling each other right in front of the official, and his arm is up.
I wonder if they send both guys here.
I think you got to, and then a push after the whistle. It's Ethan DeGroat. It's Ethan DeGroat and Matthew Lang.
Neither one was going to let the other get back involved in the play.
That was a 4-on-3 for like 15 to 20 seconds because those two were just on the ground.
I think DeGroat's getting the only penalty here.
See, I didn't see it initially if DeGroat is the one who took him down. I can't imagine that would be advantageous for DeGroat because the Tigers were on the power play. But it's 5 seconds left on the initial penalty.
I guess a 4-on-3 as opposed to a 5-on-4, it does open up some more space.
That's true. It's a good point. And so, yeah, Ethan DeGroat is going to get a penalty. So it's going to be 5 seconds of 4-on-4 action, and then it's going to be a Harpo's penalty kill for Missouri. 3, 2, 1. And he's out of the box, and immediately he has to play the puck. Ignatchev with a good heads-up play, jumps right out of the penalty box, and the puck flies at him, and he's able to play it and not let that puck be turned over. Now Siddons. Shot, and that one goes up high. That one from Vaughn into the netting. 3 minutes and 24 seconds left in the period. 1 minute and 36 seconds left on the power play for the Jayhawks. And I mean, a pretty low event period. Like, if we step back and say, all right, it's 1-0 this period for Missouri, things haven't gone particularly well for the Jayhawks, but I mean, Missouri's chances have definitely been lowered. If Kansas can score on this power play, make it 1-1 in the second period, and go away with a moral victory heading into the third, I think there is something to say about that.
Yeah, if you're Missouri, an uneventful game after taking a 5-0 lead is a positive. Now let's see if Kansas can get on the scoreboard here and take away a positive of their own into the locker room.
Absolutely, because you go into tomorrow's game for the Jayhawks, you say, all right, that first period was a want. Like forget about it. We played good the other 2 periods, the other 40 minutes, and we can do that again. If we have that recipe, we can win and try to split this home-and-home series. .50 seconds left on this penalty kill for the Tigers, and Heffington's going to clear this one all the way down. Kansas will put their second power play unit on the ice. Played by Kai Vetter. Now here come the Jayhawks. Turning, shooting, and that one is saved. A good keep-in right there by the Kansas defenseman, number 19, Hearn, and a hit to the back of Heffington right as the whistle blew. To me, that happened basically right as the whistle was blown. I don't think they're going to give him a penalty on that. Obviously, some people in the crowd want it, but it seems sort of incidental.
Yeah, there's nothing there.
There's nothing there, but you try telling that to any number of fans here at Washington Park Ice Arena on any call, and there's going to be some fury.
Always got a lot of referees in the stands.
Always a lot of referees in the stands. I want to do what those guys do when they show up to the NHL games dressed as refs and they just cheer every time a penalty's called. I want to do that. I'll pull up to one of these games like that. I don't care. That was a easy save by Stipakolski. So this next penalty kill unit for the Tigers will come out, and 5 seconds left, so they just have to win this face-off, and they should be good. And
Kansas has to be careful of a speedy DeGroat hopping over the boards out of the penalty box.
Just about to say that. If there's any, he and maybe Luke Watson would be the 2 guys I want coming out of the box most on a chance like that. And here they go. He's going to jump right into the play. Houston entering. Unable to get that one towards the net. Lukey had his pocket picked, and it's a 3-on-2 for the Jayhawks. There's a shot and partially blocked. Good play by the defensemen, Lukey and Shen. I like how they both played that one. Fred Bramstead. He walks in. Send it all the way down. 1 minute and 10 seconds to go in this period. Tigers more than happy to go to intermission with this 6-0 lead. The Jayhawks looking for a little bit more as they change lines. Houston tried to glove that one, but it flew past him. Puck rimmed around the back of the net. Went off the official, and a fortunate break for the Jayhawks as it wasn't able to get over to Uglo, who got tangled up. Both teams seem relatively content to just skate this one out with 30 seconds now to go.
Yeah, tempo's gone down here.
Uglo to Lukey, just don't turn the puck over in front of your own net and you'll be fine. Maybe a rush here. There's a shot and a good save made by Kai Vetter.
Well, here we go again with the late period offensive zone draw. 13.3 to go on the clock here. In the first period, it was 9.5, and the Tigers won the face-off. Ethan DeGroat fired one home, and look who's lining up right there. Yep, he's lined up right near the slot. Number 16 in black and gold.
They're not able to get away with that one, and I want Kansas, if I'm a Jayhawks fan, wait, here's a shot. Doesn't go, the net's kicked off its moorings, but they're just going to let it run. The net's very off its moorings, but they're just going to let it go. I had pretty much given up. The initial shot didn't go, and I was like, all right, that'll do it, and then they had another great chance. It's only one goal that period, certainly less exciting than the first, but it's still a 6-0 Tiger lead. And Ian, what are your thoughts on that period?
Well, the Tigers did exactly what they needed to do, and that was not to let Kansas get back into this hockey game. They didn't give the Jayhawks any life in the offensive zone. I thought that they did a nice job of getting in front of shots, blocking them away. Stipakolski was good again when called upon, and able to get another goal and come away with a 6-0 lead after two. You know, I thought that is exactly what the Tigers needed to do, because you saw at that first shift out of the intermission, Kansas looked a little bit faster. It looked like they went into the locker room and you know, they looked themselves in the mirror and said, we know we can play better than this, and they came out with some more speed and some more intensity. But the Tigers were able to quickly shut that down, and I thought it was really impressive for Missouri to hold them off the scoreboard once again and continue to hold their massive edge here in this game.
Yeah, if you're Missouri, you just got to finish this one out cleanly, right? If they end up winning this game 7-4, 7-3, I think they'll kind of be a little frustrated. That say, hey, we played a clean 40 minutes. Let's play a final frame solidly. Lineup-wise, I kind of expect this third period to be a lot of maybe mixed up lines or seeing guys, the bottom six, maybe take over that top six role because you have that lead. A lot of more JT Baker, guys like that, gearing up for the playoffs. I mean, hey, you know, your Blake Houstons of the world, your Ethan DeGroats, you've come out, you've made your statement. Let's not risk too much injury. In games like this before, we've seen other goaltenders come in, right? I mean, we've seen Stipakolski when he was a freshman, Michael Christopher when he was a sophomore, come in to blow out wins in the third period just to play a little bit. Probably not Christopher. Christopher, we just skated off. He's dressed as the backup. He's probably going to be playing in starting tomorrow's contest, but I'd be interested to see if maybe they have another goalie going or something like that. You know who's not going to have another goalie, though, is Kansas, because Kai Vetter, I thought, was really solid.
Yeah, he absolutely was. I mean, it's easy to lose focus, and it's easy to come in a little bit rusty when you're sitting on the bench and not seeing any action, but he was put into action, and he, I thought, played very well in that second period. And looking ahead to this third, Owen, I mean, the scoreboard says 6-0, but when you consider the game being played tomorrow night and just everything that's at stake with this rivalry and what this means to both of these programs, this is an all-important third period for Kansas to try to regain some confidence going into that game, and for Missouri to just keep the foot on the gas and, you know, really keep all of the momentum away from the Jayhawks.
100%. This is shaping up to be, if trends continue, to be the biggest blowout victory for the Tigers since their 14-2 victory over the Jayhawks back in 22. We'll see how that shapes up. Well, don't go anywhere. In about 10 minutes, the third period of action will begin, and third periods are always interesting here at Washington Park Ice Arena. There's always a lot going on, so stay tuned for that. I'm Owen Backer, joined alongside me Ian Paparocki. Producing for us is Ray Dickerson III and Michael Totis, sideline reporting, and as always, Robert Preble on PA. We will see you in about 10 minutes. Welcome back to Washington Park Ice Arena here for the third period of action between the Missouri Tigers and the Kansas Jayhawks. Your score is 6-0. I am Owen Backer. Joined alongside me, a name you might recognize, Eli Baumstark, former player and captain of this Tigers hockey team. Eli, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm really happy to be here. I haven't been back since, I can't remember which game it was, but
I can't either.
It's been a while, so I'm really pumped to be back here.
Yeah, obviously your experience with KU hockey is, like a lot of Missouri players, violent and gritty and storied. Your last game against KU was a loss, though, so how does it feel seeing this?
It's pretty great. I think KU hasn't been back in Jeff City since I was a sophomore, my first year on the team. So just to kind of prove what we can do on home ice, and when the field might be a little bit more level, I think is pretty awesome.
Yeah, and also, I mean, those games that you played against KU were kind of one and done, but this is a series because they're playing tomorrow. I mean, how would you like to play a back-to-back series against Kansas, and how do you think these guys are going to have to kind of mentally like reset and put away, 6-0 or whatever it ends up being, and say, hey, we got to go at this and do it again tomorrow. You can only lose a game once. You can only win a game once. You got to do it again.
Yeah, I think that's exactly it, just forgetting exactly what happened. Kind of like a goalie, you forget the last tomorrow, especially in their barn, and after a loss, hopefully, like this, they're going to be pretty fired up.
Absolutely. The physicality is something in this game that it's ebbed and flowed a little bit. I assume both teams were kind of given warning by the officials. Is that something you had to deal with? I'm curious about this. Were you guys kind of sometimes told, like, hey, going into this game, like, tone it down, or how did that, or is it just not, is that not a factor?
There was a couple of conversations, definitely. It's in the moment, it's a lot harder to think about it, but
right.
For this team that's so young, they got a great group of leaders, but it's a lot of young guys. The discipline that they're showing tonight is really amazing. There's been a couple penalties, but it's kind of inevitable. But I think the way that they're reducing stupid penalties of getting revenge or putting the extra hit in that they don't need is really putting them apart in this game.
Yeah, and I mean, I noticed that even with Nebraska, too. Like, these games have a lot of penalties, but not many of them are something where it was unenforced error, or something said, a flippant comment to the ref after the play, or a shove to a goaltender after the whistle. It's mostly like, oh, yeah, I took a cross-checking there, or, oh, yeah, unfortunate trip. And, I mean, that's something that is obviously very big for a team. Now, with the win 2 Fridays ago against Nebraska, this team clinched first place in the MACHA Gold playoffs. What do you think? What is that attitude like going into the playoffs versus regular season in ACHA? Like, how do you kind of want to approach that as a player? What's the conversation like in that locker room?
I think same kind of thing as tomorrow night. You got to forget a little bit about what happened. Playoffs is a different beast, and I think there's a lot of people who are going to be thinking this could be my last game, and I don't want it to be a loss. So you got to have the same mentality, even if you're a freshman. Obviously, you're going to have it if you're a senior, but you got to go out there and think that this is a completely different season that we got to get started with right now.
The playoffs do reseed, and the Missouri Tigers have a bye. So, do you prefer to have a bye, or do you kind of feel a little rusty coming off that, or what's the mentality going in like that?
I kind of like playing somebody the first round. If you're the 1 seed, you usually get a pretty nice opponent to play against, which is always good. But if you're playing like in Arkansas, the first game of playoffs, you might spend your whole weekend battling out that first game, and then everything else is a little bit tough. So I think with the strength of the conference that they're in, this bye is going to be really nice on their bodies and kind of mentally to kind of ease the load a little bit.
Definitely. It looks like Missouri's probably going to either end up playing Nebraska or the University of Illinois. Both of those could be tough opponents. Eli, any other final thoughts you want to share?
I can't say I'm on the air, but go Mizzou.
There you go. Love that from Eli Baumstark. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me.
It's been a pleasure. Eli Baumstark, number 17, former Missouri captain.
always great to hear from Eli.
Yes, it's good to have you back, Ian. I missed you.
I've been right here next to you the whole time.
Okay. I don't have object permanence. I didn't know. I was looking away. Not much that you missed. 17 minutes to go in this period. 3 minutes have expired. No goals for either side. A couple of okay chances as start of the third period. Once again, the sides have switched. Kansas trying to score on the left side of your screen. Missouri trying to score on the right. Here's Brennan Shin firing it down, and the big guns are still out there for Missouri. Watson, Vanansky, DeGroat. Not thinking they were going to be scratched, but I thought, you know, guys might like Baker might be playing a little bit more.
I think in a game like Mizzou, Kansas, so you watch that shot go by. I think in a game like this with this rivalry, it doesn't matter the score. Both teams are going to play like it's Game 7 overtime Stanley Cup final.
As Zitzman was thrown down. And Eli was talking about it and how, you know, about forgetting. He talked about it a couple times in that interview of just how it's important to kind of compartmentalize and just play the game that's in front of you. And so, you know, we can sit here in the announcer's booth speculating about the playoffs all we want. It's a turning shot from Heffington and a save made. We can speculate all we want about playoffs and about, you know, tomorrow's game, but these guys on the ice are really just focusing on what they can do in front of them, how to win each shift, how to win each battle.
Well, it's about living in the moment, too.
Yeah.
I mean, you only get to play in so many games like this. Mizzou, KU, just enjoying the present and worrying about tonight and tonight only.
And that's another thing Eli mentioned. I'm talking about the seniors, and especially guys like Nate Austin, who once you go to the playoffs, you don't know what your last game might be. I mean, you can get injured or your team can get eliminated. You don't know what's going to happen. So just play in the moment and savor everything you can. Is very loud KU sucks chants.
It's drowning out the music that's inadvertently playing. We had that happen at Cable Dahmer in this game.
We did.
Last year. I guess that's just a new tradition.
There you go. As there's, before mentioned Nate Austin.
Fans were saying some words right before that third period that we wouldn't be able to repeat.
What last thing I said, Eli, any final thoughts? He said, nothing I can say on air. And then he took the headset off and left. That was a baller move. There's a blast. Deaver does a good job hopping over that. Houston playing behind the net of Kai Vetter. He's still in the net after coming in relief at the start of the second period, only giving up one goal. And I think it'd be foolish to say goaltending has been all the difference for Kansas between the first and second period, but it's definitely been some of it. Zagorski will skate 200 feet all the way down and collect this as there's an icing call, and so we'll have an O-zone face-off for the Tigers, and Kansas left to keep a tired group out.
Yeah, I mentioned earlier on in the first period, you know, it wasn't on Ben Olsen the way that first period went. It was really just Kansas getting beat and not getting the pucks quick enough. And, you know, Missouri has just controlled this game, but really impressed with what Vetter has been able to do since he entered the game in the second period.
Bramstead with it to Lukey. Lukey spinning around. I tell you, you couldn't take the puck off that guy's stick if he was dancing around in a phone booth. I mean, Lukey is so elusive. It's again, former Sarnia Sting player in the OHL. Definitely the biggest pedigree of any player on the ice here for either team. It's Max Zagorski. He's had himself a heck of a game, and good back check by Bramstead to break up the 2-on-1 opportunity, but there's a good chance in front, and it doesn't go. Now there's a drive and a save made by Stiplakolski. He's getting tested a little bit here with 13:04 to go in this period. Now there's another blast, can't find its target. With all the time and space in the world right there from Ignacek, you'd like to see that puck go on net if you're a Jayhawk fan, or at least get, you know, deflected or at least hit the traffic in net, but it didn't even hit the, it didn't even get close enough to net to be blocked. It was so well wide.
Yeah, Jayhawks just need to see one go in here, you know, with, I mentioned at the end of the second period, the way that they've got to gain some sort of confidence going into tomorrow night's game in Kansas, a brand new opportunity in front of their home fans. Just got to see one go in here in this third period.
Ramstead sent that one high, 2-on-1. And a good back check by the tall, burly defenseman Rogers. Or Roberts, rather. Here's Ethan DeGroat. Cross-ice stretch pass to Zitzman, and it'll get there. Now Zitzman with a nice move in, but he can't pull it off. Puck going back right where it came from the other way. Before DeGroat's able to get it back, unable to get to the stick of Vanansky. Back and forth play in the neutral zone. Neither team able to properly break in and set up. 12 minutes now remain in this period. Ethan DeGroat gets it to Watson. Watson passes it on, and a save made. Couldn't tell if that was a shot. I think he was trying to pass it back to DeGroat for a backdoor tip-in, but he just couldn't quite get it.
Yeah, DeGroat and Watson, two guys that have made an impact tonight. DeGroat using his outstanding speed to begin that opportunity, and then Watson finds some open ice and tries to feed DeGroat once again, who fires one high here.
There's a drive by Vodansky, can't find its way to the net. Ethan DeGroat back to Watson, Watson to Uglo, Uglo over to Zitzman. Tigers set up like it's a power play. Trying to find space is Thomas Vodansky. Back to Vodansky, short side shot right off the chest of the goaltender, Vetter. With Zitzman, got his pocket picked. It's going to be that same unit for the Tigers. They're not going to use this opportunity to change. It's Peterson. And now they're going to get fresh legs as number 18, Setnar. Does a good job of getting the puck in deep. Peterson rather, again, not Swedish. Nice center ice contact for the Tigers to break up the play. Bauer couldn't get the puck off the stick of Heffington, and now Heffington to Weber. Weber will just throw this one on, and it was loose in front. Could have been a dangerous second chance opportunity, but Vetter clears it safe and away. Another shot from Weber, and he scores! What a drive! And it is 7-0. The extra point is good. Carson Weber.
What a shot by number 27. The Tigers had some sustained pressure, and we're just starting to wear out Kansas a little bit, and Weber finds open ice, picks his spot, and doesn't miss. What a snipe for goal number 7.
Still showing 6-0 on the board in here, and it is 7-0. Austin hammering away at it. Tigers are still hammering away. 7th goal scored on a drive by Weber from that same spot, and there's another drive from Weber. And out of play. And finally, they've added the 7th goal onto the board. In 23, when this team was D3, we saw a lot of games like this where they were throwing a lot of goals up. Since the promotion to Division II, tougher competition, a lot less games like this. It's kind of nice and refreshing to see Missouri impose their will offensively again.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
Shot from Zagorski lands into the glove of Vetter.
I mentioned it earlier, but this has been a rivalry that stayed close. Teams trading victories last year, playing some tight games over the last couple of years. This looks like it'll be a hand pass if the Tigers touch it, and they do. Walsh who commits the infraction.
Something I think is interesting is the Jayhawks have 3 goalies dressed. So Olsen started and Vetter's in now, but they still have Valentini there on the bench, and I think he didn't come in relief. He's definitely their next best goalie behind Olsen, I think, because he is going to start tomorrow. So even though that they had to switch goalies at the end of the first, the Jayhawks will have a refreshed goalie going into tomorrow's game as a drive from Lukey goes into the net, and he's a little frustrated there.
Yeah, he wanted that when he got to a good spot on the ice and just missed by a whole lot up high.
Fred Bramstead in on the faceoff. Wins that one cleanly. It's also nice to see the Tigers doing much better in the faceoff dot as of recent. They did a fine job against the Cornhuskers a couple weeks ago. That was something they had struggled in at the beginning of this season, but they seem to have cleaned that up. He can sneak up on you and lose you a game. One-on-one working in his Bramstead. Tried to toe drag that one through the legs of the defender, Zach Roberts, but he couldn't get it off cleanly as it went off the inside of the skate of Roberts. Now here's Vaughn for the Jayhawks. Puck's loose, a one-timer, and that one is saved by Stiplikolski. Fred Bramstead working in with Houston, seeing if they can break in 2-on-2. Drop pass for Houston. Broken up and back into the neutral zone. That was an attempt by, I believe, Vaughn to clear it out, but he couldn't. A line change for the Tigers. Ethan DeGroat going now. Shot by DeGroat. Past the waving arm of Vetter. 7 minutes, 25 seconds left in this game. Your score is 7-0 Missouri Tigers. Here's Brennan Chin with a shot and blocker save. Chin once more puts us over to his D partner Zitzman. A drive. That one does not go. Bonansky with 3 points in tonight's game, and he wanted a 4th. He had that first goal, which as of right now stands as the game-winning goal. It's a funny stat. It's like, those other 6 weren't necessary. They could have packed it up after that first one. Zitzman to Bonansky, a drive, shot, he scores! And that's 4 points for Bonansky. Bookends it. He scored the first goal of this game, and now he's got the 8th. I guess they decided to go for 2. They decided to go for 2. It's 8-0.
Yeah, and I mean, at this point, the Tigers are on cruise control. Another long stretch of uninterrupted play in the offensive zone. Bodnansky collects the pass, kicks to the stick, and is able to beat Vetter to the glove side low for goal 8.
That's 3 goals for Vetter, right? 3 goals given up, I believe.
That is correct.
Yeah. Not a terrible performance, but each time he was beaten, it was relatively clean. I mean, that first or second goal for Missouri, you know, they were hammering away at it in the crease. Second chance opportunities, rebounds, and everything after that's been a pretty clean, just shot, beats the goaltender. Definitely high-end skill on display, as here's Heffington speaking of high-end skill. Trying to put that one in on the wraparound attempt. 5:50 to go in the third period and probably the game as Malcolm Johnson breaks into the offensive zone. You know, 8 goals for the Jayhawks in the next 5 minutes, and never say never, but
sports are weird.
Sports are weird, man.
Sports are weird, Owen.
After that scuffle, a couple bodies fall down, and Setnar leaves with it. Backhand shot. Puck pinned along the boards. The top of your screen. A couple bodies go flying, and the puck is still pinned along the boards. It's been about 15 seconds, and now there's some pushing and shoving, some cross-checking. We'll get some penalties out of this. Rudman was in on it. Hemmer was in on it. Lamb was in on it.
Credit to both teams, though, kind of skating off the ice right there, not letting that spiral out of control. In an 8-0 game, there can be some frustration. There can be some focus that gets lost, but I'd say the chippiness, while it's been there, has probably been less than we all expected tonight.
Yeah, based on the trajectory of this game in the first period, you know, physicality was amping up. We were like, oh, it's going to keep going at this rate, but it kind of fizzled out after that. Not much since. With how big some of these Jayhawks are, you think there'd be a little bit more hitting. Is a little overpassing by the Jayhawks there. They had an opportunity. Instead of taking the shot, they went for the pass, and it did not go. That was number 24, Feeney, who had the good chance. 4 minutes and 18 seconds. 5-on-5 is Siddons. Can't go. A shot. One-timer well wide.
Nice play by Zagorski.
It's another blast from Malcolm Johnson. He had probably 5 or 6 shot attempts tonight that have gone just past the left post of goaltender Patrick Stipikulski. And a man goes down, and we've got a whistle. A Jayhawk appears to be injured, and there's some pushing and shoving after the play. I'm not exactly sure what happened.
Siddons got shoved down right against the boards, and I believe it'll be a Missouri penalty. It's going to go to Nathan Austin, who's in the penalty box.
He's skating off fine, so there's not. With how long it took him to get up, I was concerned there might be injury there, but Siddons is exiting no problem. You see a player reaching for their face like that, it's always scary, but everybody in ACHA has the full cage, so you don't have to worry about picking up chiclets off the ice. Siddons is in his 3rd year with this club, and he has been a great captain for the Jayhawks. I mean, like we said, it's been a back-and-forth rivalry. In those games that KU has won, he has been a big factor. He has scored in each of the last 3 Mizzou versus KU matchups. He's able to draw a penalty right there. So this penalty kill brought to you by Harpo's. It's 5-on-4 in the next 2 minutes. There's 3 minutes and 30 seconds left on the clock, and that puck will be cleared.
Hemmer talking again.
There he is. And why not? I mean, enjoy it. You got a lot to talk about. I can name at least 8 things that he could talk about right now.
Positive thing, though, for the Jayhawks is it starts 0-0 tomorrow.
Yeah, you can only lose a game once. Missouri can win this game 1,000,000-0. In tomorrow's game, it's going to be a blank slate still. Some trouble for the Jayhawks even leaving their own zone as this power play is now 50% expired. Once again, suffocating defense by the Tigers, and this puck is out of the zone. And I mean, if tomorrow's a 0-0 start, what are going to be the key factors for, I say if, it's going to be a 0-0 start. What are the key factors for KU? And you feel like one of them is the power play. I mean, the power play really needs to get some more shots on net in tomorrow's contest if they want anything. I mean, like that right there will count as a shot, but he didn't get much on that.
Well, I might be stating the obvious here, but I think it's getting off to a quicker start. I mean, going down 5-0 in the first period, they just looked a step behind in that opening frame. Started to kick things into gear a little bit in the second, but, you know, I think it's just being able to come out with some fire early on and sort of set the tone and not let Missouri get out in front.
It is genuinely hard, as the saves made by Stipkolski, it is genuinely hard to evaluate a team when you're playing from behind a lot the entire time. You know, I mean, what was KU's game plan heading into this game? We don't know, because they had to kind of scrap it early and start playing from behind.
They'll be energized by a big sold-out crowd in Kansas tomorrow. Be a great atmosphere there, just as it has been tonight in Jefferson City.
We're back to 5-on-5 as the Austin minor penalty has expired. 1 minute and 35 seconds to go in this game. It's given us a lot. We'll see if it has any more up its sleeve in the next minute and a half. Mr. Crow gets that one on, and it's sticked away by the goaltender. A big shot from Peterson. 5-hole save made. Weber throws that one down. I want to take this time as the clock wanes down to thank all of you for joining us. Obviously, this is a big rivalry, and we appreciate you being here. If it's your first time, or if you've been to every single D2 and D3 stream we've done, we appreciate it either way. After this, Missouri will play Kansas tomorrow in Kansas. And then they're going to be looking forward to the MACHA Gold playoffs. They have a bye in the first round.
Yeah, right back to work tomorrow night for the Tigers, but they're going to enjoy this one. In a rivalry game, two teams that have such hatred for one another. Anytime one of those teams is able to get such a dominant win like this, they got to soak it in, and the fans showing their appreciation as time winds down on a Tigers win.
And listen to that crowd.
What a night, Owen. And all of the scoring that we saw, it must be mentioned. How about Patrick Stipkolski with the shutout? He was rock solid all night in between the pipes for Missouri. Got a lot of well-deserved love from his teammates after that one as the teams head off the ice. They exchanged some handshakes here, very cordial.
Yeah, very cordial. And I don't think we did give enough flowers to Stipkolski, because Missouri could have scored 7 less goals in this game and still come away with a victory. I mean, the goaltender was solid. Not overly tested, but he was great when he had to be. And definitely calming for the Tigers to know that, hey, you know, Joey Christopher's great, and he's dapping guys up going to the locker room, but they got 2 capable goaltenders that they can rely on. And if something is to happen to Christopher for any reason, they got Stipkolski right there, who is more than capable of holding things down.
Kai Vetter and Fred Bramstead getting together after the game. Believe it or not, some of these guys in opposing sweaters are buddies, even in such a heated rivalry as they get ready to travel to Kansas tomorrow. But man, I mean, Missouri just a step ahead all night as we get set to hear the 3 stars of the game announcement here in the arena.
Yeah, stay posted for that. Yeah, these guys are buddies.
So there you go. The 3 stars, Stupolkolski, Houston, and Bodnansky, as to be expected. Those 3 were great tonight, but man, I feel like you could name 10 stars, Owen.
You could. I mean, throw a dartboard at a picture of the lineup and tell me that was the first star, I'd believe you. But Bodnansky bookending it. He scored the first goal and the last goal, picking up a couple key assists there in the middle. Got just such energy. You could have given it to anybody, but I think he definitely deserves that. Well,
I think we were looking for a potential interview there, but doesn't look like that's going to be the case. All the guys wanted to get back into the locker room to celebrate, and you know what, Owen, I understand.
Yeah,
I get it.
Well, your final score for this one, 8-0, and what a game. I just, again, want to extend this time to thank you all for watching. We appreciate all the support in person in the stream. Mizzou fan, KU fan, first time, millionth time, doesn't matter. We appreciate you for joining in and giving us your support. Ian, any final thoughts on the game?
Yeah, you know, like I said towards the end there, I mean, this is a night to remember. When you go out there and beat Kansas by a score of 8-0 if you're the Tigers, I mean, that's a night that you don't want to forget. And for a lot of guys, Stupolkolski with the shutout, the job that he did, Bodnansky in Houston with multiple goals, the power play getting things going, the penalty kill, and continuing to improve as the season goes on with this young team, this team full of guys that are really starting to learn how to play as one, to play in a rhythm, to play with one another. And it's been really fun to watch because this team has got a bright future, but it's hard to think about the future, Owen, when you have a night like that. You just got to enjoy it. And, you know, for KU, they'll be back. Like I said, at the end of the game, 0-0, starting tomorrow night in Kansas. That's going to be a fun one, and just not the Jayhawks night. Not the Jayhawks night. I think they're a better team than that. I think we will see that tomorrow night, so it should be fun. But, you know, what a night for Missouri. An absolute blast with the sellout crowd and everything that happened tonight at Washington Park Ice Arena. And, yeah, and
tomorrow's game, if you want to watch, it should be on KU's YouTube channel, KU Hockey. We've talked to those guys, the broadcast boys up there. They're very nice people, so there should be a broadcast for that, for you to watch the game. And that'll do it for us. I'm Owen Backer, joined alongside me, Ian Paparocki, our lovely producer, Ray Dickerson III, sideline reporting for us, Michael Totis, Henry Hamilton, providing some other insights and stat keeping for us, and as always, Robert Krebel on PA. Once again, I'm Owen Backer from Washington Park Ice Arena. Thank you very much, and have a good night.